So let's talk a little bit about when you were studying as a chef in Paris. What was that like?
A dream. It was an absolute dream. I mean, yeah, it's a dream. Just first of all to go back to school as an adult, you know, and not have to work. That's incredible. But also in Paris, I mean, just the way their whole approach to food and the markets and just the whole feeling there is just about it's just very food oriented.
Yeah.
And eating well and taking care of yourself and drinking wine, and that to me is, to be able to do that. I was an actor for a very long time, and I had just come from Los Angeles and living in New York for a long time, where the emphasis is on, you know, work and working out, which is horrible, and you know, and dieting. You know, so to just actually throw all that away and just embrace this culture is phenomenal. I've kept it up as well. Anyway.
Yeah. And Molly, although you didn't study cooking in Paris, you were in Paris for a while as a student. And what was it like as as a food lover in Paris? Let's talk about that.
Well, for me, my first real experience living there was living with a host family. And it was a family with 4 children, and the father wasn't around, but my host mother was a wonderful cook. And I feel like that was where I really got a sense of what it's like to live in Paris and what it's like to cook in Paris, and to really make use of everything that's available there in a home kitchen and at a nightly dinner table. And it was really inspiring. I think that that the care that my host mother took with these everyday meals was really inspiring to me, and I had never. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry. We would start with a beet salad or maybe half a grapefruit that she had sectioned for us, and then we would move on to have some sort of a meat and a vegetable, and and I had very young host brothers who were accustomed to this and were happy to sit at the dinner table for more than an hour moving through these courses. And this family wasn't wealthy, but they ate really well and really mindfully, and it was hugely inspiring to me.
Right. And I think that gets to something that is at the core of both of your books, which is the ability to to make simple meals, simple meals for around the home, everyday meals, but with style and with flair. Whether it's the attentiveness of the cooking or of the ingredients, and I wanted to I don't know, I guess talk a little bit about bringing that sense of style and appreciation to everyday cooking.
You go first.
Well, for me, cooking is really all about sharing ultimately. And even though I actually, the times that I've lived alone and cooked just for me, I loved it. And actually, sometimes I even miss cooking for one, because it just feels like a really wonderful occasion to really focus on food and with no distractions. For me, food is really about sharing. So when I'm cooking a meal for someone else, I both think of it as, of course, I want to make something delicious and I want to offer this person something delicious, but I also, for me, I really try to keep it pretty simple too, because I want to be able to feel present with them and to really enjoy it. For me, food is a balance of pleasure and sharing, and for me, it's really about what food facilitates in relationships between people. So when I'm cooking for someone else, I don't want to be in the kitchen the whole time. I want to be able to talk and drink some wine and not worry and still eat well.
I think I feel that way slightly, but to be able to share a meal with someone is a wonderful thing for me if it's the right person. And I would much rather be home alone cooking for myself than sharing it with the wrong person. I get very offended. I think this is terrible, but I am, if there's not an appreciation there and a gratitude, and I think it seems like there's a lack of that out there these days. But maybe I should meet your friends.
Well, I do sort of run with a crowd of people who like to cook, so I feel like they're always appreciative.
That's so nice. Because if I don't have that in when I'm cooking for someone, because even if it's just a piece of steak, and some kind of there's some kind of acknowledgement of what's the shared experience. I feel very, makes me very perturbed, very
Well, and
angry.
I think it's difficult too if you love to cook and if you're cooking for someone who doesn't really know how to cook and they're intimidated by it. It like makes the whole response even worse.
Yeah, and it's
I've been cooking for a couple of men that I was dating. It was always a frustrating experience because even though I was really excited to share this food with them and I knew they really appreciated it, I think they were simultaneously frightened by it.
Exactly.
And also just couldn't quite relax and enjoy it with me the way I wanted to.
you have to get them very drunk, I think, and then by that time they can't taste anything, so it's kind of a waste. Oh no, this is taking a dark turn. Sorry.